joined us today to share their knowledge and skills with us. I will start with Dr. El Said Rashad. Hello and welcome, Dr. El Said.
Hi, Dr. Nariman. How are you? Hi,
Very nice to have you today. Dr. El Said is an EFL instructor at Al Yamama University, CELTA tutor at Cambridge, and examiner at the British Council. Dr. Said will cover the following topic: introduction to the IELTS test, and will provide us with an overview of the IELTS test, focusing on its purpose, structure, and key features, covering the 4 skills of ELT: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, and offering insights into what each skills entails and tips for success. Thank you very much, Dr. Said, for your time and for coming and being today despite the operation that you had last week. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. I will stop sharing my screen.
All right.
And when you're ready, let me know.
All right. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming today. And thank you, Mudarribi, for the invitation. My topic today is on the IELTS test, the test which is the most popular in the world. And we only have 20 minutes, so I gotta be very quick today. So if you have any questions, you can just prepare them. We're going to deal with them at the end of the session. Right? Here we go. So in this quick presentation, actually I have 5 goals. The first one is to discuss what IELTS is. The second one is to focus on the listening section. The third is to focus on the reading section, then the writing section, and the speaking section. So we have 4 sections in the IELTS test. So let's begin. I have some questions on the IELTS test. I'm going to give you half a minute to look at the questions and try to see how many questions you're familiar with, how many questions you can actually answer. I think you can tell us in the chat box. There are 6 questions. You can just type 3 or 4 if you don't know all of them. All right. I see people know all the questions. That's very good, because this test is really popular, and many teachers even teach it and train students on how to set the test. So what does IELTS stand for? This is the first question. IELTS stand for the International English Language Testing System. And we should say it this way: IELTS. IELTS, not IELTS, okay, actually, because it's IELTS, the International English Language Testing System. And the band score ranges from, yes, you can type in the chat. The band score ranges from, perfect, 0 to 9, yes. So you might get a student who wants 5.5 or a student who wants 6.5 for their studies, or you might get someone who wants 7 or 7.5 for their work or immigration. What are the 2 different modules of the IELTS test? Some people do the general training module. Some people, yes, Mr. Abdurrahman, thank you very much. Some people do the academic module. Yes, usually our students need the academic module, not the general training one. Question 4 is about the 4 main papers in the IELTS test. As we previously said in the aims, we have 4 sections. We have listening, reading, writing, and we have speaking. So those are the 4 main papers or sections in the IELTS test. Which sections are the same in general training and academic? Can anyone guess the answer? Mr. Abdurrahman is saying listening and speaking. Well done. Yes, they are the same. And reading and writing are different. Very good. Very good. How long does the IELTS test take? How many hours? How many minutes? 2 hours and 45 minutes. So the listening test is 30 minutes, half an hour. If you're doing the paper-based, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. If you're doing the computerized one, you will be only given 30 minutes. The reading section is 1 hour, the writing section is 1 hour, and the speaking section ranges from 11 to 14 minutes. Here we go. So this was the first slide I wanted to speak with you about today, which is key facts about the IELTS test. And in the presentation, I have some more details, and this will be shared with you through Mudarribi after the event. I'm going to give you half a minute now to look at this poster before I move to the following one. All right. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about the IELTS listening section, which is the first section in the IELTS test. As we said, it lasts for only 30 minutes, but here we have 7 questions. Please have a close look at them and tell us in the chat how many of them you're familiar with, how many questions of these you can actually answer. Thank you very much. Miss Nisreen, 7. Okay, well done. Good job. Mr. Hisham, 7. So you're well informed actually about the IELTS test. All right, and hopefully everyone after this session will be well informed as well. Okay, so look at the first question. Again, back to the same question we just mentioned. Is the listening section the same in general training and academic? The answer is yes. There is no change. If you're doing the academic test, if you're doing the general training test, the listening section will still be the same. Question 2. How many parts are there in the listening section? Yes, we have 4 parts. 1 and 3 are monologues. 1 and 3 are dialogues. 2 and 4 are monologues. Monologues meaning only one person speaking. Of course, 1 and 2 are easier than 3 and 4. How many questions are there in the listening section? Definitely, yes, 40 questions. How much time does the listening section take? We've mentioned that, yes, 30 minutes. And if you're doing the paper test, the paper-based test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question paper to the answer sheet. Right. If you're doing the computerized one, you will not be given any minutes to transfer your answers because you save your answers right during the test. All right, question 5. Can students hear the recording more than once? This is a very common question from our students. Because in some tests, they can listen to the recording twice. In the IELTS test, unfortunately, they can only listen once. But the good thing is here in question number 6. Type your question. Yeah, okay. Do answers of the questions come in order of the recording? The answer is yes. So question number 5, we can say bad news for our students. And the question number 6, we can say good news. So the bad news is that the recording can be only played once. But the good news is that the answers come in order. So you don't have to worry about tracking the information. Question 7, what are the types of questions that are there in the listening section? Actually, there are many types of questions in the IELTS test. There's a kind of question which is really popular, which is the completion question. Could be form completion, table completion, summary completion, and sentence completion. Also labeling a map, a diagram, a plan, whatever. Matching as well is popular. MCQ is popular, and short answer questions. They call them SAQ. So this is in brief because as I told you, I only have 20 minutes and hopefully I can finish all the sections before the time is up. And here is another poster summarizing the listening section. Please have a look at it before we move to the reading section. You have half a minute now. All right. The reading section, the questions will be quite similar to the listening section, just to allow us to compare and contrast between the listening section and the reading section. So look at the questions again and tell me in the chat box how many of these questions you're familiar with. Well, probably Miss Nisreen has very good knowledge about IELTS, Mr. Hisham as well, and Mr. Abdulrahman. Okay, okay. Again, hopefully everyone after this session will be able to answer all the questions, especially when they have their own students who want to study IELTS. Okay, so look at the first question. Is the IELTS reading the same for general training and academic? It's not the same. Listening is the same, reading is not the same. So if you're doing the academic test, you will get a different test from those people who are doing the general training test. Yes, well done. How many questions are there in the reading section? Same as the listening section. Yes, 40 questions. Well done. Even the answer sheet is the same. It's just reading and listening, but the same format, actually. How much time does the reading section take? We said listening is 30 minutes. Reading is double the time. So it's 60 minutes. 1 hour. Yes, perfect. Can students transfer the answers after the reading test time? Like we said in the IELTS listening, after you finish the 30 minutes, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question paper to the answer sheet. Can we do this in the reading section? The answer is no. So you definitely have to transfer your answers within the 60 minutes, within the reading test time, not after. And this is very important. If you have a student who is going to sit the test, you need to tell them this because they might think that they will be given 10 minutes to transfer the answers, and then they will find out that the invigilator is taking the paper from them. What's the difference between the general training and the academic? Which one has sections? Which one has passages? This is a very common question because when you open the test, you see passage 1, passage 2, passage 3, or section 1, section 2, section 3. So which one has sections? The academic or the general training? The answer is the general training. And the academic one has passages. And when it comes to the score, if you would like to get 7, band 7 in the academic, you need to answer how many questions out of 40? Can you guess? I typed something in the chat. Hopefully everyone can see that. If you would like to get 7 in the academic reading test, how many right questions or valid questions you need to get out of 40? You can just guess. Yes, right. Thank you very much, Ms. Nisreen. On the other hand, if you would like to get 7 in the general training test, okay, the general training test, all what you need to get is what? Is it less or more than the academic one? The answer is it's more. It's 34 out of 40 so that you can get 7. So this means, because some people say the academic test is more difficult. Okay, actually it's more difficult, yes, in terms of the difficulty level of the passage. But when it comes to the score, You can get 7 if you get 30 out of 40 in the academic, but you have to get 34 out of 40 if you would like to get 7 in the general training. And this is a quick poster as well, summarizing all the answers I just said. I'll move to the writing section in 20 seconds. All right. 7 questions. Again, please tell me, how many questions are you familiar with? Mr. Hisham, Ms. Nisreen, they're familiar with all the questions. So probably they could be IELTS trainers, or they could be, or they could have been IELTS trainees or students one day. Yes, well done, well done. So is the writing section the same in general training and academic? Do they have the same tasks? The answer is no. In academic, they have a report and an essay. In general training, they have a letter and an essay. So they are never the same. So reading and writing are different. Listening is the same. How many tasks are there in the writing section? Only 2. Task 1 is a report. Task 2 is an essay. In the general training, task 1 is a letter. Task 2 is an essay. Question 3. How long does the writing section take? Is it like the listening section, 30 minutes, or is it like the reading section, 60 minutes? Well done. The answer is 60 minutes, 1 hour. And we should divide the time between task 1 and task 2. Task 1 should take 20 minutes, and task 2 should take 40 minutes. Task 1 is worth 1/3 of the score, and task 2 is worth 2/3 of the score. Right? Question 4, what are the 2 tasks in the general training? I just said that. If you guys can recall it very quickly. Yes, very good, Mr. Abdurrahman. Letter and essay. And question 5, what are the 2 tasks in the academic test? Report and essay. Yeah, a report and essay. Well done. Question 6, what's the minimum number of words that you should write in each task? So for task 1, how many words should you write at least? There is no maximum number, but there is a minimum number. Well done. 150 words in task 1 and 150 in task 1 and 250 in task 2. Can you write more? Yes, definitely. But don't write that much, otherwise you will need more time and you might make more mistakes. So be careful. The final question is the most important question, to be honest. What are the 4 writing assessment criteria? When it comes to checking students' writing, giving them a band score out of 9, how do we evaluate students' writing? How do we check? How do we grade that? We have 4 writing assessment criteria. Number 1 is task achievement or task response. Number 2 is coherence and cohesion. Number 3 is lexical resource, not resources, Mr. Hisham. There is no S. It's lexical resource, which means vocabulary. And number 4 is grammatical range and accuracy. All right. So which criterion is asking about the ideas, the development of the ideas, the progression of the ideas, the truthfulness of the ideas, the usefulness of the ideas? Which one? What do you think? Just one word. Starts with C, and you just mentioned it. The answer is coherence. Okay, so coherence focuses on ideas. Cohesion focuses on using the connected speech features. Lexical resource is about, just give me one word, please. Lexical resource means, yes, vocabulary. Well done, well done. And task achievement is the same as task response. For task 1, we use the term task achievement. For task 2, we use the term task response. And when it comes to grammar, it's actually 2 in 1. It's the grammatical range, the syntax, okay, and the grammatical accuracy. And this is a poster summarizing the writing section. Have a look at it, and we will end up in 5 minutes. We still have one more section, which is what? So we're done with listening, reading, writing. They call it LRW. LRW. They are taken together, all together at the same time. There is no break. You have to be there all the time. Okay? And the last one is speaking. It could be done before or after the test, before the listening, reading, writing, or after. So yes, let's move on and finally talk about the speaking section. Look at the questions. Tell me in the chat how many of these questions you're familiar with, please. Well done. Well done. So is the speaking section the same in general training and academic? Yes, yes, yes. So listening and speaking are the same. Reading and writing are different. Let's agree on this. How long does the speaking test take? I said listening 30 minutes, writing 1 hour, reading 1 hour. Speaking takes 11 to 14 minutes. Yes, it doesn't reach actually 15 minutes, but it could be like 14 minutes and 45 seconds, something like this, which is actually 15 minutes anyways. Yeah. Is the speaking test recorded? Do they record the speaking test? The answer is yes, but why? Have you ever asked yourself why? Why do they record the speaking test? Marking purposes, yes, the examiner will give you the score, but you might not like the score, so you might request remarking. So another examiner will be checking the recording and will be marking your speaking, and you might get a higher score, of course, if your performance was better than what you were graded to. Yes, sure. How many parts are there in the speaking test? Yes, actually there is an introductory part which I call the 0 part. Then after that we have 3 main parts. Yes. So yes, 0 or introductory part, then the first part, the second part, and the third part. They call the first part the what do you think? Question 5. Which part is the interview and which part is the discussion? Well done, Mr. Hisham. So part 1 is the interview. They call it the interview. And part 3, they call it the discussion, which is more challenging. Okay. How about part 2? What do they call it? Speech? No, it's not a speech. They call it topic card or cue card. And how much time do you have to prepare for the cue card? The examiner gives you a minute to prepare. No, it's just 1 minute. 1 minute to prepare for the cue card and 1 to 2 minutes to speak about the topic you have in the cue card. Right? The final question in this section and in this presentation is about the speaking assessment criteria. The writing assessment criteria, we said we have task achievement or response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. Which 2 of these criteria are still there in the speaking section? They will never go anywhere. Grammar, yes, Mr. Hisham, well done. And lexical resource. So lexical resource, vocabulary, grammatical range and accuracy, still there. And we have two more assessment criteria. Can you guys mention them? The first one is 2-in-1. It's called fluency and coherence. Fluency and coherence. These are 2-in-1. And the last one is called, as you mentioned, pronunciation. Pronunciation. Yes, well done. And here is a quick poster. When we share the presentation with you after the event, you can have it as a source for you if you would like to get information about IELTS or if you would like to share it with your students. At the end of my presentation, I have two gifts for you. The first one is my IELTS book. It's 111 pages. Okay, you can just click the link and download it. And another gift is my Delta Module 3 extended assignment. I did it on IELTS General Training Writing. And you can just click the first link to get the first document, the second link to get the second document. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope you enjoyed the presentation and I hope it was interactive enough. And good luck with the other trainers today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Said,